Hello, it's me again in my office, um, working with Matt, of course, the editor of this series. When I first read Galatians, um, I had difficulty understanding the disagreement that Paul had with Peter over Jews and Gentiles, which you'll find in that book. And I also found it difficult to understand how they had started and went backwards. How a group of people could go backwards. And of course, since then, I've understand many times that many groups of God's people, if they don't go backwards, they go round and round and round and round and round and round, and they don't go forwards. And I learned from Galatians some important truths to do with the gospel and the cross of Christ and faith and the Spirit and freedom. They were the 5 things that jumped out at me as a child and have never left me as a boy: the gospel, and the cross, the faith, the Spirit, and freedom. But this is the verse for today, and I had the privilege of speaking on this verse to students at Morelands Bible College. So it comes home to me quite fresh. I have been crucified with Christ. Nevertheless, I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. That's the verse for today. You could have said, I wasn't crucified with Christ, and the life that I now live is not Christ at all. But we don't say that. We say what it says here. It makes reference to the cross, I think, 5 different ways. And here's one. I have been crucified with Christ. Paul, in his experience of being crucified with Christ, and the life that he was living was the Christ life that he was living in him. Oh, how I longed, and how I still long. In my 80s, I'm longing the Christ still. Many times when I have a wash in the morning and comb this peculiar hair, which I've still got, that falls all over the place when it's dry, in the wind, of course, just blows anywhere it wants to. I want Christ to live in me, not me to live in me. Because I know that if Christ lives in me, the most peculiar thing happens. I am still who I am, but I'm a much better who I am. I'm a much more tolerant who I am. I'm a much kinder person than who I am. Why? Because Christ is living in me. I long for it. I long for it like a deer longs for the soft spring water. I long for it like a bird longs for the air in the sky, or the fish of the water in the sea. I long for it like the cat longs to be in a warm place and snuggle up. And I long for it like the dog who wants to be your best friend. I long for it. I long for it as much as a man longs for a wife and a woman for a husband. I have the longing within me. Why? Because I've been prepared to be crucified with Christ. Everything that Christ died for, I should try my very best to die to. And that's not only my sins, and not only the condemnation or the power of sin, but it's the things that Jesus died for: the darkness, the blackness, the evil that is accumulative in the world, the principalities and powers that work against humanity. I also am crucified to. I'm crucified even so that Satan is dead. Through death he destroyed him that had the power of death, that is the devil. I don't want the beast of the earth and the beast of the sea to put their stamp upon me. I have been crucified with Christ. I no longer live. Christ lives in me. Thought for today from Galatians.